Ashton, what's good?
What's goody?
Man, I finally got you in here. What's going on, man? You good?
I'm good. I can't complain. Just working.
Working, huh?
Working.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
How you start doing music? How that came about?
So I've always been the kid to, lock herself up in the room and sing to her dolls. So I kind of started like that.
Okay.
And I think my parents really didn't learn that I could sing until my elementary school graduation, going into intermediate school. And then after that, Dad was like, oh, she can sing. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put her in vocal lessons.
Okay.
And so, from there, we kind of just started working on my skills and things of that nature. And then eventually, I think my first actual recording, I was about maybe 15 or 16 years old.
Wow.
And we did
Do you remember the song? Do you remember the song from the first recording at the time?
Yeah.
What was the name of it, you know?
What was the name of it? It was
like what can inspire a song at 15 years old?
Just life experiences. And
at
then of
15?
course, I might have experienced a little something.
Okay.
You young and you kind of get your first little taste of, relationships.
Okay.
And,
yeah, we gonna
who you like, who you don't like, what you like, so it kind of started with that. And then of course, the music that I grew up listening to, it was all that good old 90s R&B, it was all about love and sex.
So I was just going to ask you that, like, who was your, who inspired, like, during that time in the 90s, you said, who was, like, the music you used to listen to?
One of my biggest inspirations was Mariah Carey.
Oh, okay.
And so I love her. Big fan of Tamia.
Okay.
Faith Evans. Aaliyah, Missy Elliott.
So all those
those are kind of all the people that kind of help make me who I am.
Okay, cool. Now let's back up a little bit. Where you from?
I'm from Houston.
Okay, what side of town? What name?
So I'm on the southwest side.
Okay.
And
so that's where you grew up at. You went to school. I'm assuming like what, Fonz Welch, like.
I was like more A-Leaf.
Okay.
So I went to Chambers Elementary.
Oh, SWAT.
Yeah, I'm from the SWAT.
Okay.
So Chambers Elementary, and then eventually we moved over to the Fort Bend side.
Okay.
And I pretty much grew up Mission Bend.
Okay.
George Bush High School.
Okay, explain to me what it was like during that time, like growing up during that time, the era, like the times.
Man, it was cool. We lived right off of Boone and Beach Nut. We was always outside playing and just having a good time. And one thing that I used to do with my friends all the time, we'd be outside doing cheers and stuff. So, the UGLY, So we used to do stuff like that and just make up cheers and songs and stuff. So, just having fun with other kids,
And basically the kid stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, I was going to ask you, at what point did you decide to say, what you wanted to do music in that time? Like, when did you know? Did you always know you was gonna do music,
or did you wanted to?
You always knew, even as a kid.
Always, even as a kid, I love to entertain. I love to perform. Okay. I love to meet people.
Okay.
I'm just a social butterfly, so I just move around wherever.
Okay. All right. So you started doing music. What was the first time you recorded in a studio? Like,
I was about 15, 16 years old.
And then when you recorded in the studio, you recorded that song. Did you actually try to push it? Or what was the first project you ever pushed?
So I did that recording. That's when I was under my father.
Okay.
He was kind of helping me, just usher into the whole music thing. And we recorded my first project. Mm-hmm. It was called Free.
Okay.
And I want to say,
what was the experience you learned? Did you learn anything? I'm quite sure you always learn experiences from.
I learned so much.
What you learned that you would not have did then, or what you would change back then now? Like back then,
I don't think I would change anything.
So everything.
Like, I enjoyed the experience that I had, because it was just all about writing and making music and performing. So like being under my parents, I was more sheltered, so they kind of kept me out of the business side of it, so it was more so me, just writing and making music, practicing, performing all the time.
I ain't gonna lie, at that time it's really fun.
Yeah, Yeah.
it's still fun at that time. And
yeah.
then later on, when you learn like have to deal with the business aspect, then it turned into like work.
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, it's all about finding what works for you.
Okay.
And finding the right people to work with, because there's a lot of people that you'll encounter in this business. Some people are for you, some people are not so much. And I think that aspect of it, and just, you know, dealing with the little things that you have to deal with outside of the creative side, sometimes makes it not fun.
Yeah.
But it's just all about how you look at it, you know. And if you do it because it's something that you love and you enjoy, then you'll be all right. But if you doing it for something else outside of that, it's work.
I ain't gonna lie, let me ask you this here. Now that you say that, has it been, because we all go through this as artists, has it ever been a time you was like, you know what, fuck this shit, bro?
Yes.
I'm done with this shit. Like,
yeah. So actually, I did quit. I quit and I took like a 7-year break. And for me, I was at the point where, you know, I was doing really well with the music. We were at the point where we were planning a tour and all that, and then I found out I was pregnant.
Okay.
With my oldest son.
Okay.
And instead of continuing with the music, because of course, you know, I could have been writing and doing all these other things, but I was discouraged.
Was that your first child?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And so it was, you know, you're a mom, nobody's gonna want to work with you, you know, things like that. And of course, you know, back then, in the music industry, people were thinking, like, when people didn't want to deal with girls because girls come with boyfriends and drama.
Yeah,
that's usually the main thing. That's the attitude that a lot of men that I've dealt with in the industry come with.
Yeah.
Not realizing that, you know, at the end of the day, as women, it's no different from working any other regular job.
Yeah.
So if I go work at my regular 9 to 5 and I go and have kids and then I come to work every day and do my job, I can do the same thing with the music.
So did you feel any restraint from different people not wanting to work with you because of that? Or did you feel any pressure, like that's immediately why you stopped at that time?
Yeah, that was it. That was enough to make me stop, and I shouldn't have. So if that was one thing that I could change, I would change that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have given up so easily.
Yeah.
But again, I was young. I didn't know any better.
Okay.
You know, and I wasn't aware of all the avenues that were available to me. And then, of course, now...
technology.
Gosh. And with that, that's what brought me back. That's when I decided to come back.
Okay, let me ask you this then. So back then when you was doing music, what's different now as far as technology-wise? What you couldn't do back then that you can do now?
So back then, you know, it was all about shopping to the labels. You know, meeting with these different A&Rs. Hey, you're this, you're that. Oh, you're great.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
Shopping demos.
Yeah, and that's all it was, ever.
Okay.
And so now... I'm able to do it myself. You know, I think that the playing field has been leveled so much due to the technology and the access that we have. You know, we have access to social media, so we can touch the fans. We have access to platforms that allow us to distribute our music to whatever platform you want it to.
Right from your laptop.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, we got YouTube, so we don't need these big networks to have videos put out. You know, we can put them out ourselves, and it's just all about, you know, just grinding it out. So that's the part that is a little more difficult for us as the independents, because, of course, you know, these bigger labels, they have that big budget to go all out
and make your video look.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie though, I seen some of your videos. They look good though.
Thank you.